This presentation is to serve as an overview for the most recent developments in Carlson Machine Control's mining solution. This will include machine guidance for several types of machines, fleet management or the back office solution that provides fleet monitoring, file transfers, things like that, the production analysis that's available so that you know that you're getting the most out of your fleet, out of your machines, out of your operators. If you don't measure, you just don't know. And these systems are here to enable you to gather that type of data. And once that data is collected, there are some new powerful visual reporting tools that help you make the right decisions to get the most out of your site. The general categories of our machine rovers are mine grade, which mostly includes dozers, scrapers, that type of machine. We also have drill grade, which is compatible with platform drills, as well as crawler drills, articulating drills. Our dredge grade package is designed for dredging, and there are some offshore mining applications. But from the dredge grade package, we also create our dragline package. It's compatible with cable cranes, but also shovels and large wheel loaders. The Truck Pro system is a basic material management system that tracks your loads, routes, haul cycles, dump locations, things like that. Our office suite is called Fleet Manager Office and consists of several modules. Some of these are brand new. Fleet Manager Office, the first module, is the core system. It provides an overview of one or more sites, one or more pits. It's totally up to you how you define that. You define your fleets in using the Fleet Explorer. For example, you may have an overburdened fleet of haul trucks or the actual material fleet of haul trucks, different dozer fleets, etc. Totally user definable. And this product also lets us populate new design files, VNC into each machine for troubleshooting, etc. And under that, or as part of that package, we have a new visual reporter. We'll touch base on that in a little bit. But the new visual reporter is quite powerful. It's a web-based system that allows you to set up different types of metrics. You can set up the metrics from one machine. You can pick a single metric and evaluate several operators performing the same task. You can also create reports. It has a very flexible report generator. You save those reports, and then you have the ability to schedule when those reports run automatically. The PDFs are placed in a particular location, and you can either access those or you can set up an email address or an email group and take those scheduled reports and then automatically email those. So it's quite powerful and automatic once it's set up. Productivity Tools has been rewritten from the ground up. It's our third generation, and the grids, everything about it has been optimized. So you're going to see, if you're an existing user of our Pro Tools, either the first or second generation, you're going to see substantial speed improvements as well as graphics and other items. The 3D visualizer, again, is a brand new product, and this allows a 3D playback of one or more machines of the site in a 3D mode, and this is reading the database. So you can get a near real-time view in 3D of your site, or you can go back and have historical playback. And with the optimizations that Pro Tools 3 and the new visualizer offer, you can take larger samples of data, accelerate their playback and really see trends and have, it's really a very powerful analysis tool. Let's discuss the components that make up our machine guidance system. And forgive my detail on the computer specifications, but I think they're worth noting. The CBX6 control box console is a Microsoft Windows 7 compatible operating system. Very good for security, for IT security requirements. 1.6 gigahertz Intel Atom processor. So this is a fanless closed computer, important in rugged and dusty environments. It has a 32 gigabyte solid state drive with a gigabyte of RAM and a very bright sunlight readable display at a good size, 10.1 inches. We do get a lot of compliments on how visible the software is and the screen shows in direct sunlight. It has two CAN bus ports, two serial ports, and two USB ports. USB ports, of course, for loading data if you don't have site connectivity. There is an Ethernet port, which you can attach a data radio to, for example, for connecting your site. And the CBX6 has support for a SIM card, a GSM SIM card. We can special order CDMA compatible computers as well. And we're very proud of the 3-year industry exclusive warranty on the components for this box. All these boxes come with a GNSS card receiver board built inside. Now, by default, it's not activated, but depending on your application, if you only need one single RTK position, then we can enable this board and simply attach an antenna, and you have a very lean, easy to install basic RTK positioning system. This is GPS plus GLONASS compatible. By default, it comes with an update rate of 10 hertz with a 20 hertz option, and then it has standard GNSS accuracies. We can bring the RTK correction in through a UHF or perhaps a 900 megahertz radio, or through the SIM card, as mentioned earlier. And again, the board is enabled through a UOA option. You pay for the option, it's enabled, then you have the feature. We also have a unique all-in-one sensor. The MC Pro VX6 all-in-one sensor is unique to Carlson software. This single appliance has a dual L1, L2 GPS plus GLONASS receiver boards inside. It's also Beidou ready, the Chinese constellation, and currently at the time that's recording, that's applicable to Asia. That constellation will be expanded over time. The default update rate for the RTK correction is 10 hertz. There is a 20 hertz option. So again, in this single unit, I have multi-constellation, position, and heading. I also have inside an RTK UHF radio and antenna. So this is very nice in a single package, connected by only one cable. The radio is narrowband, FCC compliant, Satel and Packcrest compatible. I also have a pitch and roll sensor inside this unit. So if you think about the components that are integrated and the number of cables, contacts that are reduced, it's very significant. So in a let's say a mining dozer, for example, rather than place antenna, UHF radio antenna, reverse sensor, all of these different components, pitch and roll sensor, all of those cables, all of those sensors are replaced with a single appliance. And this connects with only one cable, again, to the CBX6 control box, makes installation very quick. It also makes troubleshooting very quick. If there's an issue with something, it's very simple to pull off the component and replace that one component, greatly reducing machine downtime. The operating temperatures are expansive for cold and hot weather. And this appliance also, the VX6, has an industry exclusive 3-year warranty on the components. Where needed, and again, depending on the type of machine, what type of articulation you're measuring. We also have the SNX5 axial sensor. This is with a partnership with MGB Tech, and these sensors we've got several hundred out there. They're very rugged. We have them working in the ocean and saltwater with some of our large customers. And but the other things about the sensors that make them unique, not only are they cost competitive and very rugged, but they're also much easier to manage. For example, through software, the box can be configured for pitch, roll, and angularity, depending on, again, what you're measuring. And the update rates, everything can be configured through software, so we don't have to breach or open the units in the field to make changes that we need. And again, depending on your application, this sensor will emulate other sensors, meaning that depending on the application, we can replace only one or two sensors in a sensor array without having to replace all of them. There are other sensor types that Carlson supports. So, we would look at your application. Perhaps you have an older positioning system on there. We may be able to support the sensors that you already have installed. Now that we've talked about the components that we offer, the 3-year warranty, the unprecedented integration and simplicity of installation and troubleshooting, we'll begin to talk more specifically about the applications. And the first one we'll discuss is our dozer system, the mine grade machine guidance system for dozers in a mining application. And I'll just step through some of these fairly quick. You can see the CBX6 control box console with Carlson mine grade for dozers loaded. We'll look at some screenshots in a moment, but some of the key features are that the display can be fully user configurable. In other words, we can go through and set up which screens you see and in what order if you wish to see more than one screen. I think we have 12 different views that can be configured, turned on and off, and configured in whatever order that you need. We also can set up 3D avoidance zones horizontally and vertically. And this is actually done when the model file is built before it's loaded into the machine. And this will provide, it'll keep the machines working in certain areas, providing information and feedback to the operator so they don't work in areas that you don't want them to, perhaps near high walls, etc. And with a connected job site, there are proximity warnings between machines and assets, and this lets machines know when they get close to each other. Perhaps it's a blind, it's a dark operation, or it's in a blind spot. These warnings can be set up as audio and visual. And another thing to note is as the operator interacts with these zones, with these warnings, depending on their action, all of this information is recorded in a log file for later playback to better analyze what happens. For example, if there unfortunately happened to be an accident. The software has in-field ramp and bench design, all built inside the software. Real-time cut and fill and on-grade to multiple design surfaces. You can also use default training movies that Carlson Machine Control provides on some of the more popular features. If you need a refresher course, let's say you haven't built a ramp or slope in some time, you can turn on or enable the movies button, watch a movie on how to do that particular feature, or perhaps more powerfully, you can create your own movies, perhaps safety check movies, operational movies, produced by the user load it into the system, and then access those particular movies. The interface can be as simple or as advanced as the application or operator requires. Not only can we set the views up to have different views in different orders, we can also turn everything off, perhaps but one view. We also can enable or disable the buttons across the bottom of the screen, again, adding functionality or pulling back functionality to create a simpler user interface. Because there's RTK positioning on the system, we can do basic survey functions like collect points, stake out points, and as-built points as well. The MindGrade software will directly import DWG files, DXF files, TopCon TN3, GC3 files, supports 10 files, grid files, as well as comma delimited ASCII files. This is supported without conversion, so it saves a lot of time in the field. You can manage multiple drawing layers from your AutoCAD or IntelliCAD drawings. And we talked about ramp and bench design above. You can also build flat pads, single slope pads, dual slope pads, or you can actually build a more complex multi-slope pad if you need to work with drainage. We also have reporting for dozer push cycles, average push lengths, the volume, and also the angle of the push. Let's take a look at a few of the typical screenshots. Will give us a little more information. We can see the coordinates of the dozer position. We can get the quality, know that our RTK signal is good. And we can see our actual elevation and our design elevation. That gives us our cut and fill and our slopes over to the side. Looking at the screen, these are the buttons that we can turn on and off. Now, the first two are on by default. We can't edit those, but this gives me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 buttons that I can user define. There's quite a few buttons that I can reassign, or I could turn all these off, have one screen, and have a very basic functioning system. Another advantage by using a Windows-based computer and some of the algorithms that we use to process surfaces, I can load very large surface files and not have to slice those files up. Some of the other packages, they either only load part of the data, or I need to a little more file management to slice files up in order to work with them. Let's move on to the platform and vertical drills supported. This product is called Drill Grade. Blast hole design comes from several sources, and Drill Grade supports several workflows to accommodate that. If the design is done back in the office and you have a connected job site, you can telematically load those files remotely into your drills, into Drill Grade. You can take the design source, put it on a thumb drive, and manually load the file through the thumb drive. Or some applications require an infill pattern design, and Drill Grade will accommodate that also. As with other grade products, Drill Grade also supports avoidance zones, horizontal and vertical, enabling the audio and visual alarms, logging operator interaction with those zones and with those alarms, and certainly assists in keeping the machines working in designated areas. If there are other pieces of equipment working on site, other drills, dozers, etc., if the site is connected, you also will have the proximity features so that each machine can see each other, certainly in blind spots. Tagging of strata is supported as you're drilling, and that's logged to the DRL file. So you could actually, If you're logging that strata, you can take the DRL file, put it back in the Office software, and compare the design strata to the as drilled strata. Several other drill parameters are recorded in the DRL file, and all of these can be set up in the flexible report generator. And of course, there's real-time information while you're drilling, navigating, etc., for the operator. And with site connectivity, some of this information is available for monitoring. We'll step through a few of the actual screenshots of drill grade, and you can look at these and get a better understanding of some of the feature sets. Here we can see where we've navigated to a hole. The X shows that we are over top of our target to get ready to drill. The green hole shows that we have what we've already drilled, and the red hole shows what we have left to drill. This screenshot shows our drilling progress and that we're plumb over the hole, what our tolerances are, etc. There's just really a lot of features packed into this, and this quick overview is not doing it justice. I would recommend getting a GoToMeeting demonstration or an on-site trial from one of our dealers to learn more about what the package can do for you. This screen shows us our rate of penetration, etc. Drilling is such a critical component, and getting the right fragmentation, drilling the holes accurately, prescribing your demolition prescription perfectly. All these things impact all downflow processes, and it's a very critical part of mining, as you know. Let's move into crawler or articulating drills. I realize these are maybe more prevalent in quarries or constructions, but there are mining companies that are using articulating drills as well. So we want to touch on these a little bit. And again, machine guidance offers, because we're basically doing surveying and navigation and some of these things with the machine, we certainly are more proficient, and we'll see these features and benefits over and over. But we do reduce the need for the majority of a surveyor's task. We may not completely eliminate a surveyor, but 95% of the tasks can be reduced. The cost of the staking and survey consumables is reduced because we don't have to mark spots and then go find those stakes to drill by. There's certainly a safety increases by eliminating people working at the work face, since this type of work can be done from the cab of the drill. The increased accuracy of utilizing 3D modeling over stakeout is a big benefit. So, stakeouts are as good as they are at their grid intervals. 3D modeling provides this information at a much higher resolution. Your documentation of, this is what I'm supposed to drill, here are my patterns. How did I actually drill them? The angle, the depth. What was the tolerance that I was actually able to deliver that? And the ease of documenting that for your records, for analysis, and also for, improving future production. All of these things are made easier with drill grade's positioning system. As with the vertical drill, platform drills, the pattern design is flexible. It can be done in the office in a variety of file formats, loaded into the drill by telematics, loaded into the drill with a thumb drive, or field pattern design is also available inside the software. These are some of the file types that are supported: DWG, DXF, ASCII files, and IRIDES files. I'll move through some of the obvious benefits. Some we've already discussed. So, in summary, these products are designed for mixed fleets, mixed brands, articulating and crawler drills, platform drills. The packages are kitted for retrofit on existing drills. We have worked with Atlas Copco to integrate into their Smart Rock and Flexi Rock drills. Basically, how that works is we can take our CBX6 control box, our MC Pro VX6 all-in-one positioning unit, and connect to the internal machine messaging that gives us penetration rates and depth, angle of the feeder, etc. And we'll be able to see a little bit more of this when we discuss the anatomy of the systems. But for Smart Rock and Flexi Rock drills, we have a very robust system that just bolts right on. Installation is less than a half a day with no drilling. The software across all of our grade products, again, are simple to use. Our GNSS components are integrated. And again, we have a 3-year warranty on those appliances, on those components. Navigation and high accuracy positioning facilitate drilling in all weather conditions, day or night, because you're using the system to guide you. You don't have to see marks on the ground or worry about snow covering up stakes. All of our drill grade systems are compatible with our back office system, giving you a full workflow for monitoring, remote connection and troubleshooting, reporting, etc. Now, as we did with the platform drills, we'll move through a few of the screenshots of the articulating drill machine configuration, providing you with a little more information exactly how things work, what the user interface actually looks like. So lots of metrics available to record. Again, all going to a DRL file that is open sourced, can be brought into Excel spreadsheets and what have you, but also compatible with our back office reporting system. You can get total length drilled, just lots of different things. There are some drill reports, brief production reports available on the drill itself in drill grade. And we can export the data to other file formats as well. So closing out the drills, again, this is an overview. I highly recommend getting a demonstration or a trial to learn more about the drill grade system. Let's chat briefly about our Truck Pro system. Our Truck Pro system is designed to electronically record what has traditionally been a paper-intensive manual type process, and put that, use GPS location, low precision GPS location, to record things that typically operators write down on paper logs. The events in Truck Pro are recorded via operator input, and the production questions for hauling cycles, there is some real powerful options here. Using the back office software, you can create lists of these production questions. You can put these questions in the particular order you want. So you have some flexibility in how these are created, and that helps guide the operators to record their information in a consistent manner. The questions will pop up at the beginning of a shift, and once those are populated, they will sort of default and roll, so it doesn't require so much attention after the first series are answered and the defaults are in at the beginning of the shift. Geographic areas can be selected and defined from polygons in the office to automatically trigger certain items. For example, it'll use GPS to know which coal seam you're in, which loading location, which dumping location, etc. And then it will automatically select answers based on that geographic location. The back office also offers a series of flexible reports that can be created just like with some of the other metrics of the other machines, and production groups can be created, etc. I mean, really, the system is designed to be flexible and meet the needs, the frequency of reports, and the format of reports that you need. Another important feature is that sometimes errors can happen, especially if we're relying on operator input. There can be, the possibility of errors, and the software will allow you to easily go through the timeline and go back and shift data. For example, if you have stray dump locations or stray loading locations, when you map these out and see them, it'll become obvious, and the software facilitates editing this information quite easily. This package, may be obvious, does require the back office system to work. We've tried to design minimal interaction in the truck, although there are some, but most of it's handled in the back office. Future enhancements to Truck Pro will more automate the process involving the operator's input less and less. And as before, we can move through a few screenshots of the Truck Pro system, and I think that'll speak volumes for what the system is capable of. Also, if you'll notice, we have changed the control box, the computer in the truck. The trucks sometimes they require lower cost systems, and the GNSS does not need to be as high precision, although there are some high precision truck applications. So we've selected this particular computer, lower cost, very rugged, very reliable, and the software is designed to run on this package. There's also a very ruggedized vehicle dock that the unit mounts in. So I'll move through a few of the screenshots. You can see our production. So the operator does have some status as they're working. So that wraps the basic overview of the Truck Pro system. Next, we will move into the site management tool, Grade Supervisor. As you've probably noticed, the products all are built on the same core software platform. The nice thing about this is that it provides a consistent user interface between all of the machines. If the supervisor is a site champion, or a dozer operator needs to move to another machine, the system will be very, very familiar. The file formats are the same, the file structures. So this makes for a much more compatible ecosystem across the site. Well, Grade Supervisor is no different, and it's designed to work on a pole or in a pickup truck for checking grade, doing volumes, things like that. So again, we've selected the lower cost, more basic tablet to run this on. Grade Supervisor can run on the CBX6. If, for example, if you want high precision, and you likely will, and you're not going to be using it on the pole, and you're basically going to remain in the supervisor vehicle, you may want to mount the CBX6 in the vehicle, enable the internal GNSS, or even put the VX6 on top of the truck, and that way you've got your slope, cross slope, long slope, your elevations are accurate, and you'll more accurately check what the machines are doing. But to go through some of the key features, Grade Supervisor provides real-time cut and fill and on grade across the project. You can collect and stake points, as with the other packages. And there is a unique 3D volumes routine inside of Grade Supervisor. Very easy to use, very powerful. Some of this software comes from our civil engineering desktop and mining packages, and we've scaled that down and made it more field friendly. But it's fantastic for computing stockpiles, just comparing two surfaces to get status. This package, as with the others, will directly import DWG, DXF files, also the surface files, the localization files, and line work files from Topcon's machine control systems, and our own 10 and grid files. If you use Carlson, you will be familiar with these file types. You can use Grade Supervisor to build pads and then load those pads into the machine. The advantage here may be if an operator is inexperienced in a dozer, or if you don't want to interrupt his production. He can keep working. You could go out with Grade Supervisor, build the pads, load them in the machine, and they'll be ready to use when the machine operator needs them. The same management of AutoCAD layers is provided in Grade Supervisor, and this, as are the other Grade products, built on Microsoft Windows 7 and 8. We try to stay current with the Windows operating system, primarily for IT security. Grade Supervisor will support an Ntrip connection if that's the way the site's set up, or of course you can add a radio, or if you're either with this Panasonic or the CBX6, they both have GSM SIM card support, so you could bring the correction through that card, through the SIM card. Let's talk about our dredge grade package. Now, the name's a little misleading. We basically, what this is, it's a package that accommodates, body boom stick bucket type machines. So excavators, cable cranes, dredgers, but also drag lines and shovels. We build those machines out of this package. Let's specifically talk briefly on some of the dredging applications. Now, I realize that's not as prevalent in mining. There are mining operations that are, getting limestone underwater, getting aluminum from underwater. And so those do apply, but I'll go through this just a little bit, and then we can tie that into the way shovels and loaders and what have you work. Same type of foundation software built on the Grade platform. So plan and profile views, we can, if it's on water, we can monitor the barge and monitor the excavator separately from the barge, basically monitoring heading on both. Again, getting the real-time update of cut fill, and this is because of the array of sensors, we know the bucket tooth, so this can be monitored in a blind cut. There are different types of sensors that we support. Flow meters allow us to monitor things underwater, or monitor things that are in a very rugged, harsh environment, and we can monitor the articulation using a flow meter without damaging, without the potential damage and downtime of a sensor. We have many different attachment types, certainly in the dredging market. So we are able to set up and customize a table of different attachments. They can be calibrated, pre-measured, set up, and then selected from a table as those attachments are changed. In the dredging application, many times we've got tilt and rotating buckets. There may be a body, boom, stick bucket. Just lots of different configurations, and the system will accommodate those. The calibration routine of a body, boom, stick bucket type machine can be quite time consuming. And I won't go into a lot of detail, but we have a very productive calibration routine that's basically using a least squares type adjustment and a series of movements to take what can be an 8-hour calibration routine to under 2 hours. So big benefit there for these complex type machines. We'll move through a few of the screenshots. Again, this speaks a lot of, tells a lot what the package can do. Dredging is still removing material from a surface, existing surface, design surface, and monitoring that progress. These are some of the configuration screens of how we accommodate the many different types of machines. If you'll notice the finger grab attachment in the upper right, we actually monitor the opening and closing of those attachments. So again, the flow meter support means that the sensors are not directly on a bucket to handle harsh environments. Hydraulic grabber support with open and close monitoring with no sensors on the grab. Add your own custom tool attachment or machine design to accurately represent what's happening on the screen. And you're getting log files recorded recorded locally inside the CBX6 control box console for post-analysis. If you're connected, that can flow across our heartbeat protocol via telematics. And this product is compatible with our back office for the monitoring, file transfers, and reporting and visualization features. To tie together the different types of machines and the components that we've covered, let's just move through some of the different anatomies that the different machines require and how we position those sensors. We'll start with a dozer. The control box console is the primary user interface component. It's connected to power. It also has a battery backup system to keep the data integrity there. And the MC Pro VX6 on the roof of the dozer gives me track elevation, RTK position, heading, pitch, and roll. And we're actually using some very interesting algorithms moving between the pitch and roll sensor, the accelerometer, and the two GPS antennas for giving us long slope and cross slope based on speed and motion and whether or not we're sitting still. We're combining all of these technologies to give us a very accurate cross and long slope. I can, if I wish not to use the VX6,